This video is going to be showing an example of a grass cut order as being submitted through the Pruvan application on an iPhone device. Keep in mind that there's a variety of different devices, and also the Pruvan program itself will change as we improve it over time. So some of the menus and screens you see will not be exactly the same over time, but the same concepts will still apply. First, you're going to log into your account. You'll see your open orders right here. Scroll up and down until you locate the property that you're at. In this example, we're going to use the order ending in 637. Make sure this is the correct address right here, and this one is a grass cut. Click on this one time. It will bring you to a screen showing you that this is order 637 at this address right here. We're going to scroll down a little bit, and before we actually enter the grass recut, we're going to click this area right here one time. This will let us view any additional order instructions or notes that may be added inside the order. After you've checked this, you're going to click the back button or click the done button in the bottom right hand corner. Now we'll click once next to the word grass recut. Now we're actually about to answer our first question. Every time you answer a question, you want to do 4 different steps. First, read what it's asking. Second, identify the minimum number of photos that are required for this question, in this example 1. Third, you want to make sure this area right here is filled in with the word required. And fourth, you want to click the camera button in the upper right hand corner and take your number of necessary photos. After you finish those 4 steps, you click the next button down here in the bottom right hand corner. So we're going to click on the camera button up here. We need to take 1 photo of this item. Brings us to a screen like this. We click the camera button each time we want to take a picture, and after we have the minimum number of photos up here in the upper left hand corner, you click the back button. Once everything looks good here, we'll click next to go to the next question. In this example, it's instructing us what we need to take photos of. We have a minimum of 1 photo to take. Required is here as it needs to be, and we're going to click the photo button and take the necessary number of photos by clicking the photo camera button right here. After we're done, we're going to click the back button and click the next button. Something you can do to check that you have the minimum number of required photos is after you've taken, in this example, 4 photos for this question, it will tell you up at the top that you've taken 4 photos, which you know is greater than the minimum of 1. So you click next, and you go on to the next question. For these questions, you're going to want to consult your grass cut guidelines so that you know when you're allowed to answer yes or no for any one of these situations. In this example, we'll click yes, click next, we'll click no, click next, click no, click next. Now it's actually asking us to take our before, during, and after photos of the grass cut. Again, you would definitely want to pay attention to your grass cut guidelines and also your photo checklist to make sure that you are taking all the necessary before, during, and after photos. And so it's telling us what to take. We need a minimum of 20 photos. The word required is shown here as it needs to be. Now we're going to click the camera button in the upper right hand corner and take our number of photos. When you're in questions like this that need a large number of photos, you can again use up here in the upper left hand corner to show that, for example, for this question you've taken 30 photos, which is enough for your needs. After you've done that, you hit the back button. Again, you can see that you've taken 30 photos for this question and that you've done everything you need for this, and then you move on to the next question. Something to note too is that as you're answering questions, this little indicator at the bottom will move from the left to right to show what progress you are at in completing this order. So in the very beginning, at the very first question, it would be on the far left. Now that we're about halfway through, it's in the middle. And then when you're just about to complete the order, it'll be at the end. You're welcome to click left and right or drag and scroll this slider bar to go back to questions and change some of your answers or take additional photos. So in this example was the backyard service. We will click yes and click next. Do we have a bid? No. Next. Now it's asking us for work order notes. This is a space for you to enter any additional information that you might feel is necessary to let your coordinator know about. Again, you would want to consult your grass cut guidelines about anything that you might need to put in here, but this isn't required at all. It's completely optional. In this example, I'll click the blank area, type something in, click done, click next. Now we're at another question. Again, it's telling us what to take a photo of, the minimum number of photos that are required. We're going to make sure that this field right here shows the word required. Click the camera button, take our number of photos, and then proceed to the next button. Again, this is what it should look like once we've completed this question correctly. This is the screen that you'll see when you're at the end of every order. It'll briefly summarize some of the answers you made to the questions. What we're going to do is we're going to submit the order, but keep in mind that every time you submit an order, you will always click 2 different buttons. So if you've only clicked 1 button and not 2 of them, then you haven't completed the order fully and we will not receive the photos. So again, the first button we're going to click is the submit button up at the top. After that, it'll bring you back to this screen. And something you can do before you click the second button and do send us the photos is right here it's actually telling you the number of photos in this order. So you want to look at that number and make sure that it's reasonable. For a grass cut you should have around 30 photos. For example, if this was only 5 photos, that would indicate that something might have been wrong and you would want to go back and double check that. So assuming that that number looks good, what we're going to do is go back to our list of orders, and then we're going to re-enter this order and a button is going to appear for us to send the photos. We can do that by either hitting the back button on your device, or you can hit projects up here in the upper left hand corner one time. So again, we'll go back to the screen and then we'll click on the order that we were just in, 637 again. And now that we're back in here, a green button has appeared and we're going to click that one time. It's going to ask us and we're going to click OK one time. Now the order's been submitted as completed. Something to keep in mind, even though we just completed this order, it still shows as assigned. It may take a short while before this word right here from assigned changes to complete, such as this order up here. And then there's going to be a further delay before the order disappears off your list on this screen altogether. If you ever wanted to go back and double check some of the photos for an order that's no longer on this list, you would need to log into your Northsite web portal, go into the filter in the top middle screen, click on Submitted, and find the order that way. A common issue you might run into is you'll be at the end of an order, you'll click the Submit button, and instead of it bringing you back to the screen I just showed you earlier, it'll bring you back to a question you already answered. And you may look at this question, everything looks great. You click Next or drag the slider back all the way to the right, click Submit again, and it brings you back to that same question again. Well, what it's doing is it's telling you that something is wrong with this question. Again, something that is required is this field right here needs to have the word required in it, and also you need to have that minimum number of photos. So in this instance, as you can see at the top, we only have 10 photos and we need to have 20. So it's telling us you're unable to submit the order until you meet that minimum number of required photos.